What's up, everybody? For the FTWitachi here, you know what it is. Thank you all very much for tuning in to another couple Pokemon Unite guides. I've recently, a couple weeks ago, released one for both Charizard and Gardevoir. Those were two Pokemon that I was utilizing in the very beginning of Pokemon Unite, and I have now moved on pretty much primarily to just Gengar. But I've also, of course, want to keep exploring other Pokemon, and I've played a lot of Alolan Ninetales on the side as well, which is what today's video is going to be focusing on. So, thank you all very much for dropping by. If you have any questions, post in the comment section down below. If you want me to clarify anything, just go ahead and ask. Please go ahead and like the video if this helped, and please, if you are interested in checking them out, check out our Charizard guide as well as our Gardevoir guide. But today, we are here to take over with Alolan Ninetales. So starting off with Alolan Ninetales, it's a difficulty of intermediate, it's a ranged attacker, an overview with the offense of 4 stars, an endurance of 1.5 stars, a mobility of 1.5 stars, scoring of 2.5 stars, and support of 3 stars. Now, unlike most Pokemon, Alolan Ninetales is very versatile when it comes to the moveset. I've found so far with playing most of these Pokemon that there's pretty much one strong moveset to go ahead and utilize throughout that Pokemon's playstyle. But when it comes to Alolan Ninetales, which we'll be getting over into just a little bit, the movesets are pretty versatile, and you can pretty much use 2 different movesets when playing Alolan Ninetales, but it does drastically change your playstyle by utilizing either or. So when it comes to Alolan Ninetales progression, it's an attacker with Pokemon that has low endurance and excels at dealing heavy range damage to opponents. Alolan Vulpix, of course, is what you're going to be starting at level 1, and at level 4 you're going to be Alolan Ninetales. So the progression into the evolution stage from Vulpix into Ninetales is actually very, very quick, and you should be Alolan Ninetales pretty rapidly after just a few wild Pokemon encounters. Starting off at level 1 and level 3, the Pokemon can learn the 2 moves below in the order that you choose. So you can start with either or, and again, I will be getting into, after we get through each and every single move, which movesets and which orders and which combinations to go ahead and utilize. So starting off with Powder Snow, 5-second area on effect. Mobility move, and then you also have Icy Wind with an 8-second cooldown ranged ability. At level 4, the Pokemon can learn your choice of one of the 2 moves below, which will either be Avalanche, which is a 7-second cooldown area on effect ability, as well as Dazzling Gleam, 7.5-second hindrance ability. At level 6, the Pokemon can learn the choice of any of these 2 moves, Blizzard, which is an 11-second ranged ability, as well as Aurora Veil, a 13-second cooldown buff ability. Last but not least, at level 9, the Pokemon learns its Unite move, with that Unite move being Snow Globe, which is an area ability. So again, at level 1 and level 3, you're either going to have Powder Snow and or Icy Wind, depending on which one you want to utilize first. Powder Snow is an area ability. It attacks with a chilly gust of powdery snow, decreasing the movement speed of opposing Pokemon for a short time when it hits. Next up, you got Icy Wind, which is also a ranged ability. Attacks with a gust of freezing air, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon in the area of effect and decreasing their movement speed for a short time when it hits. I strongly suggest just going ahead and starting off with Powder Snow, and then moving on once you hit level 3 into Icy Wind. Either or, it doesn't really matter which one you choose first, but I strongly suggest Powder Snow because of the amount of damage it deals compared to Icy Wind. Level 4, you're either going to have Avalanche, which is an area ability. Attacks with a gush of chilly ice towards a designated area. The ice forms a wall that cannot be passed through on land. After a short time, this wall melts and collapses, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon in the area of effect. Upgrading to Avalanche Plus when the Pokemon reaches level 11. The upgrade also decreases the movement speed of opposing Pokemon for a short time when this move hits. Or Dazzling Gleam, which is a hindrance ability. Attacks with a powerful cone of blinding light, leaving opposing Pokemon unable to act when the move hits. Upgraded to Dazzling Gleam Plus when the Pokemon reaches level 11. Increases the damage dealt and the length of time the opposing Pokemon is unable to act. Now, when it comes to comparing Avalanche and Dazzling Gleam, these are both different playstyles, and like I said earlier in the video, there are 2 paths of movesets that you can actually utilize with Alolan Ninetales at a very, very high level. Avalanche is definitely going to be the one, and then Dazzling Gleam is going to be the other, and then which ones you combine them with at level 6 does matter. Avalanche, you're most likely going to be going with the Icy Snow abilities at level 6, and in Dazzling Gleam, you're most likely going to be going with the Light Fairy abilities at level 6. So when it comes to that, let's just go ahead and get into level 6, and then I'll go ahead and combine all of these and show you why each one is useful. So at level 6, the Ice Snow ability, Blizzard, ranged, summons a Howling Blizzard in 2 blasts in front of the user. The first blast deals damage to the opposing Pokemon in the area of effect, and decreases their movement speed for a short time. The second, however, deals damage to opposing Pokemon in the area of effect and shoves them backwards away from you. In the second blast, hits an obstacle. It also deals damage to opposing Pokemon near the point of that impact, so it's extra damage. And I'll go ahead and show you guys how the combinations would utilize and work. Upgraded to Blizzard Plus when the Pokemon reaches level 13, upgrade increases the damage dealt by this move. So before we get onto the other ability at level 6, comparing Blizzard and Avalanche, that will be the first movesets or the first pair of moves that you would like to utilize in combination with each other, and this is actually my favorite to go ahead and utilize because there's so much more that you can do with Avalanche as well as Blizzard than you can with Dazzling Gleam and Aurora Veil. However, I do love both playstyles, so that's why I'm giving you guys both as very useful playstyles. So going in with Avalanche and Blizzard, the first way you want to utilize these abilities is, of course, using Avalanche to go ahead and form up the ice wall, and then utilizing Blizzard to go ahead and deal that extra AoE damage or area on effect range damage, and then you'll be utilizing the ice wall that's created by the Avalanche to go ahead and knock your opponent back into that wall, and because of that, the second blast dealing damage to opposing Pokemon in the area of effect and shoves them. That second blast, if it hits an obstacle, it also deals damage to opposing Pokemon near the point of impact, and that damage is actually quite a lot. So if you can play with Avalanche into a Blizzard very, very well, that is a very, very strong offensive ability. However, you can also utilize this the opposite way. Let's say, for example, you are taking a lot of damage, your unused item is not available, or even if it is, you can go ahead and get away out of combat very, very quickly. Let's just go ahead and say you want to use your Blizzard first, which is going to knock your opponent back. However, you're then going to go ahead and follow up with the Avalanche to create the wall, which is going to force your opponent to have to maneuver around the wall to go ahead and catch up to you, but by that time you've already probably booked it out. So again, there's 2 different ways to use this moveset, which is Avalanche and Blizzard. Offensively, you're going to want to go with Avalanche into Blizzard, and defensively, you're going to want to go with Blizzard into Avalanche. And then the other playstyles of the other movesets being Dazzling Gleam and Aurora Veil, these ones are just straightforward. Dazzling Gleam dealing damage and incapacitating the opponent. And then you got Aurora Veil, which creates an aurora around the user that reduces damage received by the user and allied Pokemon in the area of effect. While the user is inside the aurora, its movement speed is increased and its basic attack becomes boosted attacks. Upgraded to Aurora Veil Plus when the Pokemon reaches level 13, the upgrade further reduces the damage allied Pokemon receive. So when it comes to this, I do like the Dazzling Gleam and Aurora Veil setup, but I don't like it as much as Blizzard and Avalanche. The reason being is Blizzard and Avalanche, the damage is a little bit higher than the Dazzling Gleam and Aurora Veil, and then you're also able to utilize Blizzard and Avalanche into multiple ways, offensively and defensively. When it comes to Dazzling Gleam, it's mainly a defensive attack, and then when it comes to Aurora Veil, yes, you're boosting up the damage that you're able to do while taking reduced damage, but that reduced damage does not compare to the defensive capabilities of Blizzard and Avalanche. And then also, of course, talking about it, the amount of damage that you do gain from Aurora Veil is roughly about the same amount of damage as you could be getting with Blizzard and Avalanche. And I just find Blizzard and Avalanche just to be a little bit, especially if you can play it well, better than Aurora Veil and Dazzling Gleam. However, whichever one suits your playstyle and whichever one you prefer, they are both top tier movesets and ways to go. And last but not least, the Unite move of Snow Globe attacks with chilly snow and ice, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon in the area of effect when it hits. Deals damage increased to opposing Pokemons that are frozen, which is also why I strongly suggest going with Blizzard and Avalanche as well, because you will be able to take more effect from your Unite move of Snow Globe. Now when it comes to the best held and battle items, we're going to be starting off with the battle items. There's not that many that are extremely useful. However, these first two, I don't really even suggest them. But again, not everybody has every single battle item. You might be new to the game, so I'm going to give you guys a couple of options to go ahead and mess around with and play with. First one, starting off with the basic battle item that pretty much everyone gets when you start the game, is Potion. With a 30-second cooldown, it restores some of your Pokemon's HP. Now this is actually one of my favorite battle items, especially when I was new to the game. It helped me last a little bit longer inside the fighting, and it just allowed me to deal a little bit more damage than I would have, or it allowed me to get away from combat if I needed to go ahead and play defensively. However, there is an ability or a battle item that just pretty much outbeats Potion in any way, shape, or form, which we'll be getting into in just a little bit. Next up, of course, is a standard X attack. X attack has a 40-second cooldown. It raises your Pokemon's attack and special attack for a short amount of time. Again, this is pretty much standard to any attacking type Pokemon in Pokemon Unite. Of course, you want to go ahead and raise your Pokemon's attack and special attack. But, however, I still don't even suggest using X attack as your go-to battle item. Next up, before we get into my favorite one, I want to go ahead and talk about Goal Getter because I have used this ever since I did suggest it in the first two guides. I did suggest it in the Charizard and the Gardevoir guide. I didn't use it in those guides. However, I still do suggest it as it is a decent battle item if you do have it. Doubles goal scoring speed for a short time. It just is better than most of the other battle items that are in this game, such as Full Heal, such as Slow Smoke, such as Fluffy Tail. What else do we got? That's pretty much it, to be honest. There's not that many battle items in this game, but that's pretty much a decent go-to battle item to utilize. However, the best and the most useful battle item in the game of Pokemon Unite at this moment in time is Eject Button. 70-second cooldown is strong, which goes to show how strong this ability is. Quickly moves your Pokemon into the designated direction. You can go through walls, you can go through cliffs, you can go through mountains, you can go through anything as long as it's got that same distance, which you'll pretty much get used to. It's pretty much a free getaway. If you are in combat and you need to get away, of course, if your opponent has the exact same battle item, which they most likely will, as long as it's on cooldown, you're pretty much good to go. But if it's not, you're pretty much splitting an eject button to an eject button, which, okay, now I got to work on how to get out of this one now. However, in most situations, eject button is your go-to as long as you utilize it correctly. Positioning on the battlefield is pretty much a strong point when it comes to using eject button. And pretty much when it comes to eject button, I was talking about Potion earlier, which is a other battle item that I did suggest. It restores some of your Pokemon's HP. However, when it comes to my favorite one, which is eject button, you quickly move your Pokemon in the designated direction, which is pretty much an escape pod or an escape route, aka an eject button. And the reason why eject button is better is, yes, in Potion you're getting HP back, but you're not out of combat. You're still in combat. Now, in a one-on-one situation, your Potion might give you enough health to go ahead and continue attacking that Pokemon. However, in most situations, it's not always a 1v1. It might be a 2v1, a 2v2. Whatever the case is, you might be getting overwhelmed. Eject button is a guaranteed 90% of the time out of combat situation, to where Potion isn't. Potion, you do have an opportunity to still die. With eject button, you have an opportunity to go ahead and live, go ahead and heal yourself, go ahead and escape, and go ahead and push the down button to go ahead, if you were that low on health, to get back into the starting zone and get back out there into the battlefield without wasting as much time as you would have with Potion. Next up, we're going to be getting into held items to utilize. Just to give you a heads up, in the Charizard and Gardevoir guide, I gave you 5 total, just to give and take a couple of ones that you might not have had. You might not have all the ones that I'm suggesting. In this one, I'm just going to go straight into what you should be utilizing. And the reason being is I've played a lot more now since I've released those first 2 guides. And I'm comparing this to the Gardevoir guide, which is also a special attack Pokemon, similar to the one that we're utilizing here. I've utilized these items a lot more than I have, and I've pretty much narrowed it down to the top 3 held items to go ahead and utilize. However, I will give you a couple of next gen held items to utilize if you don't have the ones that I'm going to talk to you about right now. So starting off with Shell Bell. Shell Bell is a boost to your special attack, and it's also a boost to the cooldowns of your abilities. Shell Bell has the following effects at level 20. Yes, you can go to level 30, but for some reason they just don't show it. So you can make this better. So the following effects can be gained while the held item is at grade level 20. When the Pokemon hits with a move, it recovers a minimum of 75 health. So that already right there is super awesome compared to some of the other held items. And the higher the Pokemon special attack, the more HP it recovers. What? Let's go. So pretty much, of course, with this Pokemon, you're getting a huge buff from the special attack. I also utilize that cooldown, which is absolute bangers, especially with how fast our cooldowns are with this Pokemon already. You're pretty much guaranteed rapid attacks. So it's absolutely awesome to utilize, and Shell Bell is pretty much a guaranteed held item to go ahead and be using. Next up is Wise Glasses. Now this is pretty much standard because we are a special attack based Pokemon. This is a strong buff to our special attack. Now when it comes to the Wise Glasses, the following effects can be gained while the held item is at level 20. It increases your special attack by 7%, which is even more on top of the special attack that you're already getting. Wise Glasses is pretty much a guaranteed must-use held item along with Shell Bell. And last but not least, this is one that I've actually found very entertaining to use. This held item has helped me out so much, and some guides out there do recommend it. Some recommend it as a secondary if you don't have another one that we will be going over in just a little bit. And some of them recommend it just like I do. My top 3 held items right now are Shell Bell, Wise Glasses, and Energy Amplifier. And the Energy Amplifier is your Unite move charge rate is increased, meaning you get your Unite move a lot faster. And then the cooldown is also decreased. So you're just getting your decrease on your moves cooldowns, which is phenomenal. Tie that in with the Shell Bell's decrease on the cooldown. And then also your Unite move charge rate is increased, meaning you're getting your Unite move so much faster. The following effects can also be gained while this effect and held item is at grade 20. After the Pokemon utilizes a Unite move, this is where all the fun happens. The damage the Pokemon deals is increased by 21% for a short time. And it says short time, it's definitely plenty enough to do a 1v5. It's just so crazy at how much damage we can already do with this Pokemon. And then to get that increase on top of it from the Energy Amplifier, tying that in with the special attack gained from the Shell Bell and Wise Glasses, tied that in with the Shell Bell's health, you're pretty much an unstoppable force when utilizing these 3 held items. However, I'll give you guys 2 more that I do suggest on the side, which would be Scoped Lens as well as the Floatstone. Floatstone is a held item that most people do suggest to go ahead and use as a must-have, but I don't like it. I much prefer the Energy Amplifier because I'm on my game anyways, and just having that decrease on the Unite move charge, or the increase on the Unite move charge, but the decrease on the cooldowns of our moves, and then the extra boost that you get once you've utilized your Unite move from the Energy Amplifier is absolutely key. But again, if you are looking for some other held items to go ahead and use that you might not have the Shell Bell, Wise Glasses, or Energy Amplifier, and you're looking for something else to fill it in with, go ahead and check out the Scope Lens, or go ahead and check out the Floatstone. So for those of you that tuned in, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope this guide helped you out. Please go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for some more guides brought to you by FTWitachi Plays. And of course, tune in live. We're always live, every single night. Twitch.tv/FTWitachi Plays. You can find all the goodie links down below. Catch you all next time. Peace out, everybody.